Hello, everyone. I'm ready. Welcome to another edition of GBC Live here. Summer. Now, I realize we haven't been doing too many in summer, and I actually gave a deep, long, hard thought about that. And last summer, I got a lot of cramps. I don't know if people catch it on air, but like sometimes I get like a really, it's not a tough question I'm throwing out there. I'm just gritting my teeth and I'm just cramping. So I think that's why we haven't really had one. I contemplated doing this inside the house today. I'm, I think this builds character. Me being out here trying to do it. I've got water. Hopefully I can get through this. And so we've got Vic, we've got Mig, we've got a lot of gravel to cover. So we're just going to get right to it. So, hello, gang. How's it going?
Hello, Zachary.
Howdy. Hey, Zach. Hi, Vic.
Hey, Meg.
Now, I don't know if you're going through the same thing that we are. I mean, in Southern California, this has been actually like the coldest summer we've had so far. It's not cold by any standards, but we've had it pretty good riding weather. And of course, like we're all a little bit scared about that. But from all the pictures I've been seeing in NorCal, it's been pretty nice up there too, right?
Yeah, it's global cooling. It's a new thing.
Oops. Sorry.
Lost Vic there. No, it's been a really nice pattern for us. A little bit cooler than usual, but we're in a nice spot here in between the heat and then the fog of Petaluma and San Francisco. I hear San Francisco's having quite a foggy summer.
I guess that's the MO for being alongside the coast. You're going to get fog, varying levels of fog.
Depends where you are. I mean, and we'll talk about that. We talk about the USO on the Lost Coast, but Mark Twain's, if I quote him correctly, said the coldest winter he ever spent was summer in San Francisco. So these areas known for the fog, which support the redwoods, which what we're known for, I think it's about 40% less coastal fog than they did 150 years ago, and it's a significant. Don't quote me on these numbers, but it's a large amount, and a lot. Those trees are really dependent upon that. So, anyways, it's playing the long game here. But I hear you guys. You have a different kind of heat, so I feel for you.
Yeah, it was 96 today, so
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gamers. We're gonna get through this. Yeah. So we're just gonna hop pretty quickly into the Lost Coast hopper. I know we've got a couple things going on. You've got the mega hopper, which is a DII one, which I could really do a 2-hour thing on this because I have been studying it and trying to figure out how I can make it possible, how I can make it semi-possible. But the Lost Coast one is a little bit more palatable. So
we could have a call another time because we're still working that. There is going to be a process to register for that, and we'll have a web page that's informative for folks. So once we have that out, then maybe we could chat again, and that can hopefully answer some of the people's questions about that.
Yeah, I didn't realize that it started on a Friday. So in a way that altered my plans, but I've got some things working for me. Now I've got some things working against me, but now I think overall it's a bonus. But maybe I can convince you to do a half mega hopper route as well. We'll see.
I vote for that too.
Yeah. Well, the mega hopper is the mega hopper, so basically that would just be you not finishing it, which is fine. But you can't call it something else. You can't call it half a mega hopper. You know what I mean? They don't have a half a Big Mac or that's a bad analogy. The half pack. Anyway, we'll save that. We'll dive into that in the next time because I'm sure Vic's want to join you. I'm not doing it. I made it as a joke. I think it's a beautiful course, but I'm not going to ride it. Not in it. I'll do it 4 days with you guys in hotels and hot showers and good meals. Anyway, that's another show.
Okay. Because I have been like very distracted by looking at that route. everything that's out there. It just seems very intriguing, and having to find the balance between doing a ton of miles versus experiencing it as well is kind of the yin and yang right there of how to approach it.
Yeah. Well, I keep saying we'll talk about another show, but all right, since we're talking about it, we're
well, I mean, this will get me through for another month.
Zach doesn't take social clues.
Okay. So I'm serious, not serious. And now a reason for doing it now, as opposed to we launched it as a bike packing, just great epic ride, multi-day. Ted King did it as fast as he could. But the reason we're doing it now is that, going up upon, this will be 29 years. The next year will be 30 years. And the Mega Hopper is really 9 different grasshoppers that it makes up. And most of them we don't do anymore. And with this, I've created a collection of rides of those 9. So people could go do any of those 1 of those 9 rides, or they can do part of this whenever. But we want to do a grand depart where you can do some dot watching. And it is some people that want to go for a fast time. And for those who don't want to, this for another time, it's so accessible. Like the length and the elevation it's right up there with some of the toughest ultras. But it's an entry level in that there's lots of bailout points. I mean, there's so many, you're close to civilization so much, but yet you feel like you're in the middle of nowhere, which is what we love about biking, which is what I love about it up here. And I've discovered with you guys in LA as well. You're in LA, but next thing you know, you're on the backside of Mount Wilson and you're middle of nowhere, So I think that's what we love about biking. So I think this is going to be, it's going to be a route to stick and to last. And anyways, we're excited to do something that's we're not out there organizing and providing support. And it's just like a different, bigger challenge for maybe a different group of folks. And to turn some people on to some of our old classic routes. I mean, the hoppers have changed over the last 10 years, but the first 20, we had all these routes in Sonoma and Marin County that because of our numbers, we just can't do anymore. So I'm really excited for people to be like, oh, let's go do Chileno Valley. Let's go do these rides. So anyways, they're beautiful. And when I'm making the routes the other day, I just get so excited making stuff in my backyard. And that's kind of the origin of all of this stuff, is just creating the routes. And yeah.
Did you say Ted King already did it? He did this
a few years ago. Yeah. And he's he has a good YouTube of it, the Mega Hopper. It's when him and Laura working with the Mill District in Healdsburg, and I think they funded the video project. And I mean, his moving time was 27 hours. He averaged like 16 miles an hour for 420 miles. I mean, I always respected the guy, and then I saw that, like, when people are going fast where you actually have ridden so much, it's different if it's somewhere else because somehow it doesn't click.
Right.
Yes, and I think I had one rest, and yeah, it's going to be I mean, if anyone tries to beat that time and not sleeping, maybe they do it in 35 hours, maybe. I don't know.
What do you think a mere mortal like Zach could do it in?
What, the half or the whole one?
The whole thing. There is no half. That doesn't. That's not a thing.
I don't know. I would just figure out your mile per hour. You're averaging 1,000 feet, per 10 miles for 400 miles. I mean, what's your average speed going to be? And if you sleep or don't sleep, I mean, I'd be surprised to average faster than 11 miles an hour.
I was thinking 10.
10, 11, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So do the math. I mean, and if you sleep, so 6 days.
Wow.
Well, but I mean, like, it's not almost, it's 7/8 pavement, right? Most of it is pavement. No. Okay. Then we're gonna have to go back and talk about it then. Because
the dirt there is hard too. It's proper single. It's like full. There's some full on mountain bike sections, and then yeah, we'll go. Let's dive into that another time. That's a whole show. I told I wouldn't talk about it, and it's my fault. Sorry. I just like to talk about bikes.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, I just know we did it. We scratched the surface. We still have plenty of time to talk about the Lost Coast Hopper, which
All right. Coming up
September 6th, Saturday.
Right.
But it looks like the course has changed from last year to this year.
It changed from last year. Last year was the little asterisk because of an issue with our access to the beach area. But this year it will be like it's been in the past several years. Yeah.
And this is I'm gonna throw this up here, and if this is correct, I think I got the correct one on. And this is the long course, right? That goes up Highway 1.
Yeah, that's correct. And the it's interesting. I mean, I jokingly, so the Mero Mero is the long, the Mediano, and the Chiquito. The Chiquito is, I think, 35 miles and 5,500 feet of climbing. So that means the little tiny one. So that's a proper day. So this loop right here.
That doesn't sound Chiquito to me.
No, it's not Chiquito.
No.
The loop you're looking at, so you start there and you go down the coast, you do loop down almost back to the water and then around. And then that's the Mediano. And then what makes the Mero Mero is when you get back to the start finish area, you do the course, the first half in reverse. So you go back up that to Highway 1, and then you come back in the U-Sol and you finish with that spectacular view dropping down into the coast. So you do that length of the U-Sol 2 times and once in each direction. And it's a splendid ride.
Mig, what is the translation of Mero Mero?
Mero Mero is like,
it's like the boss or something like that.
Like the boss, like the main man of Mero Mero, like él es el Mero Mero, like he's the Mero, like he's the like.
Is it best. Like El Jefe? Is it something like El Jefe?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I've done this climb with you. I've done it separately with a pretty backpack bike before, but this here the climb you start off with. That's the showcase view looking down the Lost Coast. That is you on the cover. Everything. You start off with. Well, people who drive in are going to see this coming in this way if they're not coming in on U-Sol, but not a good place to park your car. But obviously gorgeous getting in there. But then we head out and then go up Highway 1, and then this little drop in. This is the one that we did last year in the scouting, where it's just really flat, smooth, or
relatively. It's a gradual, like 4.5 mile downhill. Yeah, and I mean, I just love talking about the terrain, and we'll talk about the reason why of getting out there. But since we're talking about the map, U-Sol Beach is super rugged, and this U-Sol road was built. It's called the Lost Coast because they never could build a highway. So this was a big mill logging town, and they had, I don't know, several thousand people living there at one point, but they never built a road from here to Eureka, right? It's what they call the Lost Coast. So it's about 6 miles to the beach, to the state park from Highway 1. And then we do about another 9 miles on Highway 1 to where the M&M Road is that we drop down. And it's some of the most beautiful tarmac you can ride through redwoods. And it's just the fact that we have a little bit of pavement in there. I mean, I think that's a bonus. And then the U-Sol is super rugged. That's where I usually ride a mountain bike on this course because I really like to go downhill. And sending it on the U-Sol, those like 15 miles is pretty tough. You give up a little bit on the pavement, and then the Redwood Forest Foundation logging roads are immaculate. They're in perfect condition. So definitely is a great gravel bike ride, but because I'm not competing, I always like to be on a XC light mountain bike for that one.
Now this road here, like kind of like where it cuts in here about mile 20 to around mile 30. This is all private road back here.
Yes. So the only public road, so it's the Sinkyone Wilderness, and then there's the Sinkyone intertribal land a little bit north of the beach there. It's all state park, And the Redwood Forest Foundation basically owns from the Usal Road to the Eel River. So if you go east to there, you'll see away from the course, you'll see where the redwoods turn to. It drops down into the watershed. That's to your right. East would be to your right there. So that's like Piercy and going into Leggett, and that's the Eel River. So they own 50,000 acres. So yeah, it's would not be possible to have a loop without being on private land. You can go north to south like you did, Zach, on the Usal, which people do, but this is a unique opportunity to spend a couple of days there and get to ride on their land.
And then the aid station over here, that's kind of like pretty much where the paved part kind of like ends for people.
Oh no, you're not on pavement. The only pavement is Highway 1. That's all gravel.
Oh really? Oh, so we're even deep. Oh wow. Okay, I see. So we're even deeper into the forest, away from the stuff. Wow.
Yeah, okay. So if you zoom out and you could see the pavement is just basically from where your green dot is there to the other red dot at mile. It's as far as the course goes, it's like mile 6 to mile 15, roughly is what's paved, and that's it. If you're doing the long course, if you're doing the short course, you barely even touch the pavement. You go up the M&M road to start to the feed zone, and then you do a road that's not on your map. So if you think about this as like a butterfly wing, and you have that tip, and you connect it to stay on that ridge, that's what the Chiquito course does. And that makes it special for folks doing that, is that they're only on pavement for 2 miles the whole day.
And I can see people that are doing like the medium course, if they're coming here mile 40 and coming down to Usal Beach, or they're doing the long and they decide to cut it short, they can just empty out here and just go finish off.
Yeah. And this year it's going to be really hard because of where our start finish is. They actually ride right through like lunch and beer. Like they literally go right by it to do the long course. So whereas you were kind of close to it in the past, you literally ride right by it to go do this other loop. So there'll be some conversations with folks and their friends, like beer or another hour and a half.
Yeah,
both.
That's cool.
That's like that book of questions we had in the 90s, if you gave your life to save 1,000, something like that. And then also, I know this is a Vic question, camping. What is the camping situation arrangements over here?
So the camping, so in that area where you have the start finish, there's the Cinco Wilderness State Park, and there's camping there in the alders. You're not supposed to camp on the beach, though people do. It's non-reservable, so it shouldn't be a problem if people get in there Friday to find a spot. And then this is different. So you'll probably want to get a different map based upon my current one, because this is how it was last year. Our start finish isn't there.
Okay, it's further back.
Yeah, and that would be helpful for people to see, and you could send them to the web. This is where it has been in the past.
Oh, okay.
The issue is that the state parks we can use the Usal Road, which is a county road. People can camp because it's an open camping area, but we can't have our registration and our party and everything on state park land. And so we're back in about 3/4 of a mile up creek onto Redwood Forest Foundation property. And we spent a weekend working there this summer or spring, I guess, where we weed whacked and cleared. And it's a really nice big landing area for us to have our registration and our party. You can see it. You're getting it there. So warmer, back, zoom in. See right where yeah, there you go. Nope, right there. Boom. Yep.
Wow.
That that brown spot, that grassy area there, that's where we're going to have registration, our after party, and gather, etc. So
I'm sorry, how far is that from the water?
Maybe a mile.
Oh, okay. It looks like a lot farther.
No, it's not far. It's like a mile. It's actually nice because people think, oh yeah, I want to camp on the beach. It gets pretty rowdy and rugged there. Like it gets a bit wild. I prefer to camp away from the beach and then hang out, and also it can get hit from the fog and the wind. So it's better to camp in the trees and the alders.
I'm
And
with
there's
you.
plenty of camping.
Yep. Okay, cool.
And for people that are camping, there's no bathrooms. No, there are bathrooms there, right?
They have bathrooms. They're very rustic. We'll bring in some porta potties, but they'll be back at our venue area. So either people are self-contained in their campers. There's like 3 different outhouses there, not fancy pit toilets. And then we'll have some porta potties at our registration area, but they won't be dropped at the state park this year. And it's important that people know too, the road, people drive in there in 2-wheel drive. I don't recommend it. I recommend high clearance. High clearance, like an all-wheel drive. I have gotten in my Sprinter in 2-wheel drive. If you're not used to doing rugged things in your 2-wheel drive, it's gonna scare you. And there's a couple of spots where, like I talked to a guy last weekend, is it the same road? He said it took me 4 tries of going up and then back down on this one part. So those 6 miles, people go in and out. You'll see a sedan in there and you're wondering how did they get in? And so people do it, but it's better to plan ahead and get a vehicle you're not going to worry about. Either share it with someone else or share the cost of, maybe renting a truck for the weekend. There were 2 ladies that came from LA actually one year and did this, and they parked outside of the U-Haul, and then they bike packed in, and then they did the event. It was super cool. And actually, I've been following Holly. I forget Holly's last name, but she's always doing crazy stuff down in LA, and and that's what they did. So that's possible too. Or drive somewhere and then hitch a ride. People can get creative and get in, but just don't get into trouble on the road.
Yeah, my van is only front drive and it's not high, so I'll probably beach it or something.
Yeah. Let's talk, Vic. If you're planning on coming up, how about you and we could talk, and I can give you some ideas or some plans for something.
I don't know. Vic wants to push the van's limit more than his bike.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
I think front wheel drive is better getting up that one spot. Like I said, I've taken my van, but
is it just steep and loose or what? I've had it like off road, but clearance wasn't an issue. It did okay.
Yeah, the clearance, if you're moving side to side with the ruts and the roots, it's okay not having super high clearance. Really, it's just coming right off of the one. There's a pitch, and then coming back up as well. And I'd recommend just Googling it and looking at like blogs and stuff and people talking about all that, because people talk about that all the time there.
Okay.
I might go inside where it's lighter. I'm gonna wander. Ooh, it's lighter over here.
Oh, God, visuals.
That looks good.
Is that better? I don't know.
It's a lot of MIG.
I'll just keep going inside. Sorry. Okay, let's talk about the course. What are we talking about?
This will also remind me, like, the temperatures at the time of year. I would think that it wouldn't be. I would say crisp is the best way to describe it.
In September? No, it's absolutely the best time. Well, I don't know. You're from LA. I guess it's crisp. No, it should be nice. I mean, I need to do this in here because the light and sound's horrible out there. Okay. One sec. Sorry, people, if anyone's watching this and didn't plan ahead. Temperatures are fine. It should be a little cool in the morning, a little cool in the afternoon, but it's the least foggy time of year. So it's spectacular. Fall in Humboldt and Southern Mendo in Mendo and Southern Humboldt is just fantastic.
Yeah, some people don't have, like, they hear north and they think snow, and I'm like, no, there's no such thing. You're along the coast.
Fog.
It's not it won't get too hot, but it won't get too cold. Although once you kind of get into the forest in the middle of the day, it can get a little bit muggy. But
I mean, it's not humid. It's not overly dry when it gets hot. It's not. I mean, it's ideal for me. Fall time in this area is just I can't think of a better time and temperature to get up there. You know, I really encourage people as well, if they're coming up for this, it's definitely something to come, you know, a couple days and make a trip of it. It's far. But you know what makes it special is the reason we're there. We're getting to ride on the land. There'll be afterwards. We'll have a campfire with the foresters and folks from the Redwood Forest Foundation. And what really makes them unique, and you know what makes this important to me, that this part of California, north of here. So if you think about the range of the redwoods, it basically starts at, there may be a couple in Big Sur, but generally think about it from Santa Cruz to like a little bit north of, you know, up into Southern Oregon. It's a pretty small area up the Smith River there, that they exist, right? And so, you know, there's a really interesting book that folks called Ghost Forest, which was written by a person who grew up in Guerneville. You know, by the early 1900s, you know, all the redwoods in Guerneville were gone. They say that was the largest old growth on the planet, but for most people it had been, you know, eliminated. And so, you know, what's special about the trees is they grow back. You know, most places, if you take all the hardwood forests and you've cut the maples, you cut the oaks, I mean, that's kind of it. The redwoods, you can go through and it looks perfect to you, but it's maybe the third generation of trees growing. But as we know, with the amount of the fires and with resource management, you know, it's a tricky thing to do. Once a forest has been cut, it has to be managed. You can't just not cut trees. You know, you can't just you can't leave it alone. And these folks here, a local group, purchased this land that had been massively clear cut and said, let's try, you know, a new model. And so they do timber harvest, but they're also selling carbon credits. They're doing a ton of work to do stream restoration and bring back steelhead in certain areas. So they're creating long-term jobs and have a long-term vision of managing this 50,000 acres, which is relatively small. It sounds big, but for example, Humboldt Redwood Company, which is part of MRC, they have 250,000 acres in that area. So to be doing something with them where they see recreation and getting people on the land as a fundamental part of what they do. You look at that map you had, Zach, and you look at Northern California, it's not like if you're someplace where it's in other states and it's all BLM land or national forest or Tahoe National Forest, like where do you go? It's private land. So I feel as the Grasshoppers, we feel really strongly about partnering and working with folks that are giving access to this land. And I think that's one of the pieces that people enjoy about coming up here, is learning that story, around the campfire, asking questions. And we often get experts in the field, whether it's in, you know, microbiologists, or we have a woman who just got her PhD in the studies of like fungi and in the soil. So you have people that coming back to volunteer that understand what this is about. And it's about doing, you know, having a great bike ride, getting to recreate out there. You know, having done this long enough, it's great to put on a bike ride and a race, but this is going to be 30 years of putting on bike events and not teaching anymore. So for me, having these connections to things that are bigger than that, and a reason to gather more than just going for a bike ride, that's a great reason. Don't get me wrong. We just gather just for a bike ride. That's great. But when we can add an extra layer to it, then you know, that's why we're putting the effort into it. It's really far. It's really difficult. It's really complicated. It's really expensive. It's in the middle of nowhere for you to get there. It's in the middle of nowhere for me to mark the course and to bring porta potties and to get food. Somehow we got Matt Acarino. We have a Michelin star chef with 2 restaurants from San Francisco, SPQR and Matina, who's going to do the food. I don't know. I don't know what he sees in me. What does he see in me? I don't know. But it's like, so he's driving from San Francisco, and we're getting food there for you. So come on out. It's going to be a great time.
When you first started doing this 29, 30 years ago, did you ever imagine you'd still be doing it 3 decades later?
Well,
a little bit of you.
30 years ago, were you thinking about 30 years later?
No, but I mean, 1 year led to 2 to 5 to 10, and now you're at 30.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think I'd break it down even smaller. I'd say moment to moment, day to day. You're like, I just love so much putting roots together and gathering. Like for me, it was the cycles of the seasons and the year. So I just knew I wanted to keep doing it. So I've been evolving and morphing and changing and learning as I go. And I love to learn, I mean, it's so challenging and complicated on ways that luckily people don't even know about and have to see, making the sausage.
Not to mention all while having a full-time job.
Oh yeah, I did that too.
Sounds like a full-time job to me. Like all the logistics you just laid out for this one event is like in the middle of nowhere where all this stuff and all these people and a Michelin star chef. Like, wow, like that's a lot.
It is, but man, when it comes together, oh, it's so good. I don't know, Vic. I don't know. I'm not quite.
Well,
I didn't imagine 30 years, but like I can't imagine stopping either. Like, yeah, not now. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I know you love riding. I know you love competing, and I know there's a part of you is like, man, I wish I was out there. But to see the gift that you're giving this to so many people, and it's not just the people there. It's those people that ride, go home, tell their family and friends the stories of the stuff they got to do. How many people you've impacted in doing that? Like, it's immeasurable.
Thank you. Well, I feel selfish. It gives me such pleasure. It's what makes me happy. Like, it's like, it's the hard things that give us satisfaction and pleasure. I mean, our work, our career, our family. I don't go purposely looking for hard, but there's a lot of hard in life. And, there's a lot of hard right now in our communities in the world. And it's like, and sometimes I'm like, how could I even think about bikes or look at this as so much pain and suffering and evil at play. And then I look at, hey, this brings joy and it brings us together. And, so keeping on and keep on keeping on. And, the conversations we have when we're riding bikes, like we've talked about this, you just cut through the bullshit, it's like, you don't have to know for someone that long. And you kind of go, I don't know. And we're old enough too. It's not like when you're just discovering yourself in your early 20s and you've got to kind of beat each other a little bit before you get to that point. Like, I don't know. I'm saying
when you're on a bike, you don't have the conversations you do in a coffee shop or, in a library or even in the house. You're out there.
Or on the golf course. Like I've been enjoying golfing. I had my best round this week with my dad and my son, and I was like hit like an 85, and I was like, oh man, I hit a couple of putts, but like it was great. And I was with my dad and my son, but it's not the same as when I ride with my son. I mean, you're stopping your concept, that movement, that flow that we get while we're doing it. Like I had a 25-minute climb with Austin McInerney, who helps me with this, who was one of the president of Nike. And we climbed up this new trail from Liberty Glen, coming from the lakes in Marin up to Pine Mountain, and technical and hard. And we're sinewing and we're talking about, permits and foundations and applying for grants. And I'm like, what just happened? We just climbed for 25 minutes over these creeks and stuff. And we just talked the whole time. And we've been riding like that together for 20 years. And, when I jump in that you saw, for example, like this event, this is when I do get to jump on course and ride. And I'll be in and out and bopping back and forth. And this really makes it like I hang out at the feed zone for like an hour last time at Kenny and just talking to folks. So when I can make time and be out there, like it's nice, and just interact with people and, hear their stories of father and son riding, or there's just, I don't know, preaching to the choir, but bikes are nice.
No, well, I mean, we need even though, we need the reminders. We all need goals of things to look forward to, and I think cycling is a big part of that because, it fulfills that sense of adventure and community that we all need. And, it fulfills it pretty easily, and especially when you could look on a calendar and just, okay, this thing I really am aiming for. And, it's going to be a great experience. So,
yeah. And there's two pieces to it I've been thinking about recently. I know we're not talking just about events, but one is as cyclists, we have structure. And some people say, oh, I just want to have all the free time in the world. Yeah, some free time, but there's the routine of when you meet up, and it creates structure and a pattern. And it's also not safe. Like, it's risky. I think as humans, we need that. We crave that. We desire that. And I do risk management, but I know part of it is they come because it's risky. Like, stuff can happen all the time on your ride. And I think the risk reward, like, it's real. You're on the edge, but you're in touch with it all the time. And we do that several times a week, every week, all year round, our whole lives. Like I think Vic's nodding. Like,
I try to explain that to people who don't ride or don't do things, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be bikes. It could be skiing. It could be whatever. And if you don't do anything like that, you just can't wrap your head around that. It's like they want to be, in a giant car with all these airbags and the biggest one. So if it gets in an accident, you kill the other person. And it's like, they don't want to take any risks. And it's like, no, that's when you're living, when you're like pushing yourself and you're taking a little chance, not to say do stupid things, but if you don't push and explore things, you're not really living. You're just kind of existing. And I'm not with that. So, and I'm not saying go out and, jump off a giant cliff, but ride a little trail, take a little chance, go through that creek crossing, Zach.
Yeah, look, I know every day when I step onto my Zwift bike, I don't know if it's going to
go.
I'm not even wearing a helmet. Crazy things can happen.
Anyway, I totally agree with what you're saying, Mig, and you said you're preaching to the choir, but a lot of people really just don't get into that. They just,
I think, and the teacher part of me, we're all teachers, but being trained and then doing it in the classroom, like, and as a language teacher and as a coach of the mountain bike team, it's like you also I like the term, they call it the zone of proximal development, right? It's like you can be pushed, but just a little bit from where you are. And for each person, that's different. And when you're in a classroom, you're trying to navigate, like, emotionally, intellectually, like knowing, like, how do you push people? So as I've done all the bike stuff for these so many years, where I went from just thinking about trying to win to kind of being in the middle last, like seeing where people are and the joy that we get. And that's kind of, what coaches do as well. If you're coaching athletes, well, yeah, you have this goal, but like these little things. And so I enjoy creating routes and experiences where people, a lot of people say, no way, I'm never going to do that. But there's a lot of people who are like, yeah, I think I could do that, and that's why we have each other as well. That's one of the fun things about signing something when you're going to compete, right? Like, I think you were surprised when you showed up. You're like, Huffmaster, like, that was a proper road race. That was a full-on smackdown. And if you can't just drop off, oh, I'm just going to ride by myself.
No.
No. You were with Roger, with those guys, and I saw where you finished, and that I was like, wow, Vic is freaking strong. But like that whole relationship with people in the moment that you're going through your head of, like, taking pulls, dropping back, who are these guys, measuring, and like, it's such a fun experience to put your body and mind through.
It was phenomenal and scary at the same time. And that's what you're talking about.
Phenomenal and scary.
It was.
Yeah.
It was phenomenal and scary at the same time.
Yeah. And USAL is less of that. I think we're on the point of the call is about USAL. So last year there was no competitive element. It was just a ride, and I really, really enjoyed that. And just taking that off the table, and that needed to be that way. This one, we do have a time segment for those who want to need it. So I think this is a good balance for an event where people that want to go and compete and others that just want to get there and to truly ride. So we have a little bit more robust feed zones. There's plenty of time to complete the courses. The only thing we do is keep an eye before they go do the long course. We're not sure. We always have a time cutoff for that because we have to make sure that our EMTs are in the right places. And, you know, and I talk to people like, I mean, pretty much any event we do, anywhere you crash, it's a helicopter ride. You know, if you think about emergency, like wilderness responding, like there were 2 helicopter rides year before last at Huffmaster, because they get the call, where are you? That takes us 40 minutes. That's a helicopter ride. So you have to think about these risk rewards. Okay, where are you? Like, so where am I if something happens? So, knock on wood. What else do you want to know? I keep rambling on. You got any questions for me about you?
No, that's it. We went about 40 minutes, and you know, you didn't answer all my Mega Hopper questions, but I think we had pretty robust Lost Coast thing. I do want to add a note, like totally different was last month I was in France and I rode up Mont Ventoux, and you know, I thought like I had to bring a couple like local relics with me, and I brought my Grasshopper bottle, and getting up there and seeing all the people up there, you know, it was kind of like a, you know, Vic and I have talked about this. It's kind of like a culmination of all of our cycling experiences, kind of like led us there. And, you know, it was like, you know, all these people, what they've shown me have brought me to this point. So I just wanted to share that with you, that, you know, I just wanted people to feel that they were with me and, up there. And, you know, thanks for just all the imaginations, including my own, that you've definitely helped foster.
Yeah. Well, I love what you guys do. I mean, as people, and I've really enjoyed my time riding with you. And I like that you're the way you present your storytelling with, whenever people hear your voice and you're narrating, like there's no other Zach. It's very unique.
You mean
but the way you go into a place, and you're a very talented rider, like people get fooled when they ride with you, how strong you are. Filming, like when I saw you filming my buddies in that group, I was like, he's just dropping off the back and filming these guys. Well, you're going to places and you're highlighting some of these things, which in California, I mean, you're in France, which I haven't been to, but other places, like cycling is a welcome and encouraged part of the social fabric and the sport and the economy. And you go to these towns and you're in Wairika, and you're in these places where, you know, there are people like that are into that, but it's great that you're traveling to places, or you're up in Lassen or in Butte. You know, there's everywhere you go around people that love biking, but it's not like, even here in Sonoma County, I still can't believe that they're not like, hey, this is like being in Vail before there was a ski mountain. Like the riding here is phenomenal. And it's like, well, we have wine. Like, well,
well, you can juggle a few balls. You know, that's what I say. Enjoy it all. You can have it all if you live up there.
Yeah. I'm glad. And Vic, you guys I saw you photos there, but not together. You were there together, right?
No.
It was 2 different trips.
I went for the tour. He went with his family. And
okay.
I went with some guys. One of our good friends, Dan, has a house in Provence, and that's right where Ventoux is. And so we just made a trip out of it and rented bike. I was going to bring a bike, but it was much better to rent the bike, actually. Uh-huh. We could have a whole nother show on this. But bottom line was, it was an 11 out of 10. I was buzzed. I'm still kind of buzzing off of it. And it was just, everything about it exceeded by far what I thought. And I've been to France a couple times, and I've even ridden in France, but it was nothing like being at the base of Ventoux. It's kind of like Moab is for mountain biking, for road biking. Like every shop is a high-end road shop, and they're all over the place. Every shop had really nice kit and cool stuff, and bikes for rent, and helpful people. And Pinarello had a whole display at the place where Zach rented his bike. What's it called?
Rev de Velo.
I mean, that shop was awesome. Like I could just stay at that shop for hours just looking at stuff. And all the people, everybody there, all the drivers, they're the most courteous, patient people because they're so used to it. It's the opposite of here, where everyone's trying to kill you. And like, I was just in heaven because everywhere I went, it was great. On the roads, in the town, on Bantu. Like I said, we could do a whole show about that. But yeah, I wish we went together because it would have been great to ride with Zach, because the guys I was with aren't Zach. So I ended up kind of being by myself up the hill. But it was still all good because it was people on the road the whole way up, like thousands of people. When I got to the top, it was like a road bike party. It was thousands, but it was hundreds and hundreds of people at the top, including a full woman's team that was doing a photo shoot with Chris. They weren't in the, I didn't see them in the tour, the FIMS tour, that kit, but they were maybe they were a Continental team or a feeder team. I don't know, but they were doing something. So that was cool to see. And it was unbeatable.
Yeah, maybe
because the number of people, though, does that mean you probably don't get a proper descent because the different speeds, you don't get to really enjoy dropping off of it, or do you?
No, I got a proper descent.
Oh, did you?
I didn't get a proper descent. Like, so we rode the Bantu the day before the stage. The day of the stage, we rode halfway up and watched. On that day, you can barely move because there's like 700,000 people on the mountain. So we went up 11K to the middle of the climb, and it took me like, I don't know, 2 hours to go to get off the mountain on the bike. So yeah, that's a different thing. But the day before, plenty of room. And the road is big. It's not like a little canyon road. It's a mountain road. So the only thing was at the very top, it was pretty cold. So I had to descend for like at least 6K before I got warm enough to like feel comfortable. And then I flew down. It was great because I didn't bring a jacket. I saw people coming down with jackets. I should have had a clue. But going up, you're climbing, so you're not hot. But going down, it was like I was shivering for a while. But then it was fine. It was fine. I'm glad I didn't take a bunch of stuff with me.
Yeah, you need to add that to Mega Hopper route.
Yeah, that would be really mega.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna wrap it up. I just want to quickly, Humboldt County feels like another country. Definitely, if you don't live in the upper third of the state, different pace and everything. There's even a channel I've been watching, Ed Humboldt Axe. I don't know if you've been seeing it. Guy does some history I've been watching about. I think he's a retired firefighter, but been getting a lot of local knowledge about the lighthouses in the area, and he does a pretty good job. So I would check him out.
I want to give a shout out for two events. One thing is the grassroots up there. So the last weekend in August, the Mendocino Coast cyclists put on what's called the Casper Classic. I think they use paper plates for your numbers and write down your times, and it's a fundraiser for the mountain bike team. I think they get 60. So it's a great job. It's a super, super fun event. I think it's a potluck afterwards. And then September, the week after our event, September, whatever week is after the 6th, the Mad River Enduro put on by the Redwood Coast Mountain Bike Association out of Blue Lake. I went and rode theirs, and those are some proper segments. And you get up north and it's just like, maybe the people have a Facebook page, maybe not, but they just gather and they do a small event, but the riding's amazing. So just encourage people to check those out. The Casper Classic and then the Blue Lake Enduro. It's got a different name, but it's an enduro race. They had an all kids enduro. They have an all kids enduro series, which they had one in Ashland, and then in Blue Lake, I think they had 60 kids show up. So they're again, and you get up in these areas. It's also what's happened, kind of Mendo and Humboldt. It's still places where people can afford to move and buy a home and land and have a family. I mean, the era of making money growing weed has passed, and it's changing economy. But like, there's still some of that, but it's not like back at what it was.
I was going to say that's the only thing I know about Humboldt County. I just remember growing up, Humboldt was where all the weed comes from.
There's still weed in Humboldt. Yeah, the Emerald Triangle. I mean, there's still that, but it's definitely has changed. But yeah, good folks putting on good events. Hardworking folks that are advocating and building trails, and yeah, just good people.
All right. Well, we're gonna leave people salivating for the next talk. But we won't talk about the Mega Hopper until after Lost Coast Hopper drops September 6th.
And we're gonna have to talk about. We have a new event coming in St. Helena. I mean, a mountain bike race. We'll just keep talking.
We'll keep talking, but we have a lot to talk about, which is great.
I don't know. We should get some questions in advance or while we're going. I feel like we're talking to each other. Who's our audience? Let's get them involved, Zach. Let's get it.
Okay, we'll work on that next time. We'll really crack the whip.
Some pop-up questions, some maps,
some Starlinks of picture across the world.
All right. Well, hope to see you guys soon for a ride. Thanks for having me on.
All right. Take care, Mig. Hold on for a second if you can, but.